Dear, this is so amazing. Ever since you came along, it's like the lands of Eldora have been restored from the famine that plagued this region. In fact, one could argue that the people's quality of life has significantly increased ever since those greedy nobles emigrated from these lands and relocated to Avalon.
Well, perhaps I'm just a natural green thumb. I never realized how enjoyable farming truly was until now. There may had been a time when I farmed before I lost my memory. Now, I'm just glad to be doing my part to help our family.
And, you've done more than enough. Seasons came and went, but you've continued to work beside us and help us slowly regain what was lost since that king had passed. Why, perhaps you can become the new leader of this quaint, little valley of ours. Since the nobles left us townspeople to fend for ourselves, what you would like to rename this place?
Let's see. Yes, I know the perfect name. We'll call this place Montero Valley.
Montero Valley. That's quite the unique name for a place like this. But, it's indeed original. So, I think the name will work just fine.
And so, the townspeople unanimously came to a vote and ruled that Eldora would be renamed to Montero Valley to differentiate themselves from the Avalon nobility.
And so, Montero Valley became a very prosperous nation thanks to the agricultural success that was brought about by Prince Eos's skills, or so we say Hemp's skills. It was like the go-to place for people to have a fresh start and actually build and grow and create things there. And soon, the farmland became a city. A wide infrastructure of connections and a place for people to grow stuff. And it's pretty interesting. It wasn't nowhere near like the old valley that we thought it was. And as for the book called The Untitled Ambition, well, it's been passed around to different people trying to interpret and try to decipher what the context really meant. But yeah, to no avail, no one was able to really translate the language that was in the book. It was like, for some reason, it was like an unknown language that was only encrypted by Nicodemus in order to make sure the right person gets to it. And on the subject of Nicodemus, he found himself traveling far from the rest of his hometown. That's when he met a beautiful young lady in a desert country. I'm pretty sure you all know what this is. The country of Esteban, where it's known that they have a wide variety of different sources and resources to archive knowledge. There, the young lady took Nicodemus to their sacred library called the Akashic Records, and that's where he was able to store this knowledge of the Lost Saga into it. Oh yes, it was quite the beautiful place to look at. It really was. And that's when he got back to work and started writing, or should I say drawing. The contents of what was drawn afterwards was absolutely spot on and amazing. No one could have saw this coming. In fact, it was almost uncanny.
Incredible! This saga is beyond amazing. Nicodemus actually predicted everything that happened during the Esteban invasion, centuries before it occurred. He saw it all, Miss Green. How crazy is that? He predicted that the true hero would be a direct descendant of Eos and that in the final hour, Apollo's descendants would be wiped out thanks to his disobedience.
Whoa. That is incredible.
What's more, he even predicted the return of Rasputin in the form of Antispur, where the evil dictator is described as the embodiment of Rasputin's spirit. Plus, the King Drake he summoned wasn't any ordinary King Drake. It was the reanimated body of King Drake, the Dragon King of Draconesia described in this story. After Khalid took King Drake's Dragonstone, the reanimated body lacked the ability to revert to its humanoid form. That's why everyone thought it was so strange why a random, undead dragon would be so powerful.
Technically speaking, Rasputin wasn't truly defeated until after Rick and Justin's team dealt with him during the Esteban invasion. I've heard of villains overstaying their welcome, but this is ridiculous.
Well, no argument there. There's also written here prophecy yet to be fulfilled. It says here that after Apollo's seed has been wiped away, a final battle between the true hero and the next Dragon King will soon take place. Afterwards, whoever wins will decide the fate of the world. Whether a world ruled by heroes or Draconians. But, how can this be? It's been centuries since anyone has seen a living, breathing Draconian, let alone a Dragon King. What do you think, Miss Green? Could this final part be superstition?
I have no idea whatsoever. I suggest maybe taking this with a grain of salt. Only time will tell.
The time has finally arrived. They prepare for the next move within the Mubarak hideout.
Splendid. From the reports from other higher-ups, it seems that you're finally prepared for our big mission as expected.
Yes, Dragon King. I've trained rigorously for this day, this moment. I'm prepared to do whatever it takes.
That's the answer I like to hear. You and your team will be taking a trip to Esteban to identify and help us capture the fairy assigned to the Mage Heroes party. Her powerful essence will be needed for us to empower our forces and get our wishes granted.
I'm sorry. Did you say, a team? I was under the impression that this was going to be a solo mission.
We thought of that too. However, according to our sources, Esteban forces are far more numerous now than in years prior. Plus, their heroes have gained some experience. They're not amateurs anymore. We must proceed with caution.
Very well. Who and what team is joining me in Esteban?
These will be joining you.
Greetings, partner.
I apologize, sir. But, I've been here for quite some time, and I've never seen these individuals here before in my life. They were so fast. I didn't even notice their presence.
Of course, you didn't. These are the remaining Draconian sisters of my tribe. I've had them in magical hibernation all these centuries, preserved for this grandiose battle. Now that the true heroes descending from Hamp have been identified, these Draconians will serve as the perfect counters to their magical powers. Now is the time to wipe the heroes' blood from the face of Zestria. Then at long last, this world will fall under Draconian rule. I apologize for my outburst. Overall, there's been a lot of preparation for this day and we need your expertise to aid our cause in this pivotal time.
Yes, sire. It shall be done.
With all this talk about preparations going on and whatnot, one can't help but wonder, what exactly are Rick and Gemma doing after all this time? Oh, we're in the mountains. Oh, well, I guess we're about to find out then. Goodness, the mountains we had to climb just to get this fastener right is absurd. Gamma, please tell me this is enough to forge weapons with.
According to this amount, it's only enough to make a select few weapons like a sword or spear.
What about bullets? We should have more than enough to make bullets, right?
Yes, we have more than enough to produce a few rounds of bullets. These should be enough to take any Draconian attempting to invade Esteban. However, I'm rather curious. Why are we trying to find equipment for an enemy that hasn't been seen for centuries?
Well, you weren't there, Gamma, but there was an enemy back during the Avalon Games that warned my comrades about the King of Dragons. He's alive and well. This means we have to work extra hard to ensure that we stand a chance against such a powerful threat.
I see. Well, in that case, we've secured more than enough to slay one Draconian.
I sure hope it's just one Draconian. Otherwise, I wouldn't know how we could deal with multiple or even an army of those creatures.
You worry too much, Rick. Don't stress out, we got this.
If only that was the case. If only.